Hello everyone, back again. This section of my video about sunflowers, our session about alternation, about planning your whites, passage, contrast, is about choosing your palette or using the colours that you've got in your palette. So for beginners, we've got possibly New Gamboge. So I'm just fooling around with colours to see what they're going to do. This is New Gamboge, a little bit of full strength. I'm digging my brush and I haven't put any fresh paint out, sorry guys. And then I'm going to pick up a little bit of alizarin, a little bit of dirty alizarin. Oh, wow, look at that. So this kind of harks back to the colour wheel that we did last week. A little bit more red. Oh, looky there. Now I often do leave my Alizarin Crimson to go quite dry because I find that because I'm quite heavy-handed with my brush, that I end up with this red mess. So it's just a way for me to control myself. There's my Alizarin Crimson. Yeah, it's quite a black red. It's got quite a lot of black. And sorry, there's no black mixed into it, but the characteristics of this pigment, the colour of this pigment, are a red that is a cool red, and it appears to have a little bit of black in it. So if you were to compare it to another red, here we go. Here's Alizarin, this is Cadmium Red. Look at the difference. Yeah, Cadmium Red is quite a sort of tomato-y red. Yeah, they're quite different. So you can see how dark Alizarin Crimson is, and you can see that Cadmium Red is almost an orange. Yeah, it's an orangey red, so it's a warm red. So because for me, I'm thinking that we're doing these lovely warm coloured, warm yellow colours in the sunflowers, that maybe I want all the other colours in my palette to be cool colours. Now beginners, you might not have a variety of colours to choose from. Some of you may have just the few colours that I've recommended because you've just started. So you just run with what you've got. So you've probably got New Gamboge, you've got Permanent Alizarin Crimson, Phthalo Blue, and Burnt Sienna, yeah? And that will work for you very, very beautifully. Okay, right. Because the reason I'm saying that is because New Gamboge it's not really a warm yellow. I'm going to put some yellows next to it so you can see. This is Indian Yellow. So you can see that it's quite a warm yellow compared to New Gamboge. Indian Yellow looks like it's got a little bit of that orange in it, yeah? Now can I dig in here? This is a colour that I really use. This is Cadmium Yellow. Look at that. Beautiful. So Cadmium Yellow and Indian Yellow are quite warm yellows. So on the colour wheel, they tend to move towards the orange and the red, where New Gamboge it's not a green yellow, but it could go that way quite easily. So I'll show you what it's going to do when we hit the blues. So I'm going to put some more yellow out. Got a little bit too much red in there, but that's too bad. A little bit of that. Look at that green. I just touched this. I did nothing more. So just remember when you're painting that watercolour goes a long way, and you don't need very much of it. So if you're picking up quite big blobs of paint and globs of paint, you need to slow down and maybe you need to let your paints dry out. Maybe you need to put the color out into your palette the day before and let it dry overnight so that you can be a little bit more feather-light in your approach. And believe me, I understand it because I am quite a heavy-handed painter, as I've said to you before. So this is the blue that I used, that I mixed into the yellow. Very pretty. And then for mixing some of my darks, I'm going to head into my burnt sienna. Yuki, while I'm here, I hope you can hear me, darling, I used my gum arabic to get rid of part of my golf ball, and it worked beautifully. So I'm going to bring the the golf ball, the gum arabic to class next session and show you what I did. And if anybody's got a problem, then you're welcome to use my gum arabic to solve your problem, because look, it's just worked absolutely beautifully, softened right out. And that will probably reconstitute the dried up paint that's underneath as well. It's just what happens in summer. Okay, so there's my orange, there's my burnt sienna, and I'm just going to catch it into there. I'm going to catch some of my red into there. I'll wash that out because I want to go back to that yellow. So I'm just letting the colours gradate down by themselves. Yeah, I've used quite a bit of water to let that happen. So today the painting is, my demonstration painting is going to be pretty much wet on dry. I'm not going to wet the paper at all. I'm just going to use my water bowl, my paint and my palette, and a wet brush onto dry paper. Okay, so that's the colours that I'm going to use. So for intermediate people, where did I put it? Here it is. Okay, here's some more ideas. Not all of them, but here's some more ideas, yeah? So standard colours, burnt sienna, alizarin crimson, Indian yellow, my favourite yellow, cadmium yellow, cadmium red, phthalo green, turquoise, cobalt, turquoise, light, wahoo. Okay, whoopsie. And I've got here, can't read it, Windsor blue green shade in my palette. It is in there, but I probably will use red shade. Pretend that's red shade. I've also got some quinacridone gold here. Don't know whether I will. I've also got some May green in a very sad old tube. Maybe I will. And I've also got some of this lavender. I don't know if it's going to be sharp enough to do the job. This is from Holbein, but it's really beautiful. You girls who paint with Holbein, you know what I mean. Thank you very much, Sarah. So those are the colour suggestions that I'm thinking about. Obviously, you'll have your own ideas in mind. Run with it and do it. But I'm still thinking about keeping it very much a yellow painting for the flowers. I'm sorry, I'm pointing at them and you can't tell. Beg your pardon. Yellow painting, that the subject is yellow. There probably will be very little yellow in the rest of the painting. It's just the flowers. And the green of the stems, a local colour, meaning the colour, the colours that are already there. So the local colour of the sunflowers is yellow for the petals, dark blacky, browny, violety, sludgy, blue, purple, brown, orange centres for the flowers, and green stems, green leaves. And I've just got a glass vase, as you know. I'm going to paint straight through the vase. I'm not interested in the vase at all. The vase is the last thing to think about. And this is one of the things with the processes of watercolour. What do I do last? What do I do first? what do I do last? And I think you can safely say that the details are the very last thing to do. Yes, the details are the very, very last thing to do. So it's really, to start with, all about the underpainting and the mass shapes. So for example, bring me little fleurs back, the flowers, a mass of yellow, yeah? That one's not connected. Maybe it could do, maybe it should do, maybe I shouldn't. But the mass of the yellow. And that was why when I did my drawing, I wasn't interested in each individual petal, because that's really one of the last things to do. It's one of the details. So okie dokie, let's have a little bit of play. Talk to you soon, guys.